Hey kawan, welcome to EDC Ready. Today we are doing a disassembly of this guy. This is the CJRB Ria. I bought this used off of my friend named Shafiq. He's part of the EDC Malaysia community. And yeah, so I'm just gonna take this guy apart. First impressions video is already up, you can check that out. Detent is amazing. There is no blade play that I can feel, and lock bar tension is nice. The knife opens really quickly. It's not assisted, but it feels assisted. That's how fast this guy opens, and it drops well and good. But let's take this apart and find out what is under the hood. So couple of things I can see here. It only uses 2 screws to take it apart, which I really love. That's one of my favorite features of the Civivi McKenna. And also it looks like they use the same screw size, which I really love knives with that feature, like this guy. Alright, so let's see now. These should be T8 screws. T8 screws, yep, T8 screws. No Loctite. Now I do not know if this knife has ever been taken apart before, but and so far it's coming out easily. Okay, back here a little bit tight. I think maybe the pivot has been adjusted, or my friend has adjusted the pivot before. Back here is a little bit tight, so maybe, yeah, there's still some thread locker there, so maybe this has not been taken apart before. Let's open it up, and then it should disassemble. Okay, hold on. Okay, what's the hold up here? This is open. Let's take out the blade, and we are running on bearings, but the bearings is not caged by brass. It's caged with Teflon or some kind of plastic. Okay, this guy's not opening for some reason. Okay, the other bearing fell out. There we go. So yeah, so here we have the this standoff here is also a lanyard hole for a very small lanyard. I don't use lanyards personally. I find that they get in the way. But this guy is it's pretty good. It's pretty hidden. It's not there if you don't need it. Okay, then there we go. And seems like, what do we have here? We have a little bit of bronze here that fell out from this side. So I think this guy, what they do here is that they don't want the pivot to scratch up the CF on the inside here. So you have this little thing, this little bronze washer that's on the inside that goes in there like that, and that goes in there like that. Let's see if it's the same on the other pivot. No, so it looks like it's only one side. Alright, knife is apart. Let's clean it. Let's take it apart. So far, not a lot of gunk. Actually, yeah, it's quite a bit of gunk there. You can see it there. So first things first, cleaning up the bearings with my microfiber cloth. So this knife, there's certain aspects I really like about this knife. I really like the shape. I really like the pocket clips, very nice. A couple of things initially turned me off about it, looking at pictures and reviews. I'm not a fan of the blade shape itself. I do tend to like knives with less of a belly. But this guy's belly is a bit too voluptuous for my preference. And I do like to fidget with my knives a lot, so I was kind of turned off by the fact that you can't open this any other way than with the thumbstud and your thumb. But the advantage of that is when you have that feature, okay, you can optimize it for that kind of opening alone. So unlike with knives with a flipper and also thumbstuds, you might need to compromise flipper action to compensate for thumbstud action and vice versa. In this case, they work pretty darn well because you only need to pretty much test it and make it perfect for one opening mechanism. Alright, stop pin's kind of staying there, so let's keep it there. You can see here we have some nice skeletonized liners, and the CF, this is a good sign. I thought this was going to be CF over some kind of G10 laminate, but the CF actually goes all the way through. You can kind of see the shape of the CF there. So yeah, full CF. Very similar to a Gamzo kind of CF, where it's very slippery. I'm not that big of a fan of it. It's more of look rather than function, whereas you compare it with another CF knife that is quite expensive, quite a bit more expensive. This guy has some nice texturing of the CF. Alright, so everything's clean. Okay, had to blow out the what do you call that? The thread locker. There we go. Now on the blade here, as you can see, there's actually a little groove for the bearings to go into. So we want to maintain that a little bit. I'm going to push this in on one side. This is a D-shaped pivot. So it is a non-free spinning pivot, which I always appreciate. Makes disassembly a lot easier. There we go. Okay, for some reason it's not going in all the way, which makes me question what this is for. If this stops it from going in all the way, what is that for? Let's try it without this. Does it go in? Yeah, it goes in. Maybe this is meant to be on the other side. The other side does have it. Yeah, let's stick it here and see what happens. Now, the reason why they might be doing this is, and this is just my estimation, is that it helps keep the knife in tolerance. So sometimes it might be a little bit too tight or a little bit too loose on the other side, and then this pivot, this bronze washer is just to keep everything to tolerance when they put the knife together. Alright, so yeah, that's there. So what I'm going, so it looks like it all does come from one side. Okay, I'm gonna try to maintain that since I think it all came from one side. I'm gonna try to keep it there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some lube. This is breakthrough lube. Add a little bit of surface tension. This will help do two things. It will help to prevent rust if it at all is about to rust, and add a little bit of surface tension so that it keeps everything in place. These are very, very thin, so it's going to be very easy to clip them or squeeze them or get them deformed, so keep that in mind. There we go. The shape goes in that way. Alright, there we go. So, add a little bit of lube on the detent ball track, a little bit of lube on the bearing race. Okay, now this guy, I'm not sure which side goes where, but they seem to be symmetrical on both sides. You know, also see on one side, one of the you can't, I don't know if you can see this, but one of the bearings tend to be more obvious on one side. They tend to stick out more on that side rather than this side. So I'm gonna put that side on because we want the blade to rotate on the bearings. Yeah, go. So this is gonna go there. Before that, let's get the stop pin in. Where is that stop pin? Oh, there we go. It's on that side. There we go. So that is there. Let's get this backspacer / lanyard hole back into place. There we go. Add some lube there because I wiped it away. There. Stick that in there. Just some lube on top, just to be a little extra. Now, let's gotta line everything up. Okay, so the stop pins are not lining up together. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Okay, stop pin's not lining up together. Maybe we add some pressure that way. There we go. There we go. Now it's all lined up. So what was happening was that the lock bar was kind of creating some tension in the system, and it wouldn't line up the stop pin. But it's all good now. Now we just need to put everything back together. Some T8 screws right here. I've bought some thread locker online on Shopee, and it should be arriving in a couple of days. So for now, most of my knives haven't been running on any thread locker. So it just means I need to tighten my knives a bit more. Thankfully, I've been at home for like months, so my screwdrivers are always with me. Okay. Alright, let's check that action. Action smooth. Okay, let's tighten it to the max. Centering is perfect. Once you fully tighten it, let's just loosen this and tighten it again. There we go. Centering is spot on, but it's going to be really tight. Yep, it's going to be really tight. Not too bad actually. There we go. 1/16 of a turn. No blade play. Still drops shut quite well. D10. Amazing. Still drops shut. See how far we can get away from it. Centering is still there. Let's see how far we can get away with it. Okay, another 16th of a turn. Okay, now this blade play. So we wanna just tighten it just a little bit more. 16th of an inch. No blade play. Nice and droppy. There we go. A full disassembly of this guy. Tune in for the full review that is coming up soon-ish, I guess. Sometime in February. Okay, thanks guys, and stay ready.